unbelievable. That is unbelievable, man.
We're going to do this thing again. I'm disappointed I can't play against the guys because we've been having a good time, a hard-fought battle, and I'm disappointed I can't play before you. So without me going into a whole thing, let's just get it on and have some fun and entertain you tonight.
All right, all right.
They're the words of Magic Johnson. Welcome to the Kingdom, the Sydney Entertainment Centre, for a special night of basketball. It's match 4 in the 5-match series between the visiting Magic Johnson All-Stars and the Australian Boomers. As you heard, Magic Johnson won't be playing tonight because of that calf injury, but it's destined to be a thriller because there was only 2 points in the match last night at Flinders Park in Melbourne. What a thriller that was. Of course, the margin has been reduced between the two teams from 15 to 7 in the second match and 2 in the third match. Well, the live action is about to come up. Let's go to our commentators now, Phil Lynch and John Casey.
Yes, thank you very much, Les Murray. The big crowd in at the Sydney Entertainment Centre heard that news from Magic Johnson and obviously very, very disappointed. But let me tell you, from speaking to him last night, he's just as disappointed as everybody here is in the building and certainly in our large television audience for tonight. But let's look at the starting fives for both teams. Just a couple of changes in the Australian Boomers lineup. They've made 4 changes to the 10 tonight, but into the 5 come Tony Ronaldson and Phil Smythe, Paul Rees in the middle, and Patrick Reidy and Andrew Vlahov, who are playing in all 5 games of the series, make up the 5. So a very, very good 5 from the Australians. We'll tell you about the other 5 in just a moment. But look at the Magic Johnson All-Stars, and of course the one that's missing is the big number 32, Magic Johnson. His place tonight has been taken by Marcel Henry, number 18. Now, we've seen him over the last 3 nights doing tremendously well, coming off the bench, but taking his spot in the starting 5. Interesting to see what sort of difference that's going to make to the game tonight. Well, teams on floor and just about set for the tip-off here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre tonight. Huge crowd in. Referees, the man with the basketball is Roger Shields, one of our most experienced referees in Australia. He's assisted by Jeff Mikulev, that's Roger Shields on camera, and John Payne. So we're going to see a fast, entertaining game tonight. Changes to the Australian lineup will mean a little bit of a difference in playing pattern, but into the game tonight coming Ray Borner from the Canberra Cannons, Greg Hubbard from the Sydney Kings, Justin Withers from the Kings, and Scott Fisher from the Perth Wildcats. So Australia straight into the man-to-man. And it looks like big Paul Rees getting his starting job tonight. He's got the job here on John Long. They switch that up as he falls back onto Aguirre now, just on a switch. So it's Vlahov on Long. Aguirre fades away and hits the opening 2. And John Casey, every time we've seen Mark Aguirre hit his first shot, that means dynamite.
He seems to start every game that way. He must like being the first man to get on the score sheet. He did it in Adelaide in outstanding fashion and has just been a star all through the series. This is Rees. Well blocked, no foul. I've called on John Long.
Bit of a hesitant start there from Paul Rees. Made a good cut, got the pass in exactly the right spot. Perfectly run offense from the Australians, but just pulled the trigger back on the shot. You see the ball come into him hesitating there when he should have gone straight up with the shot. Drew the foul and goes to the free throw line, but could have easily got the straight up 2. Testing time here for Paul Rees because he made the Australian team to go to the World Championships in Toronto last year and was 3rd off the bench in the centre spot. Difficult for him to make an impression from that position, but had a bit of a disappointing tour of Europe. He has to re-establish himself in this side. Big Ray Borner on the bench tonight, and he will be backing up Rees in the middle. John Dorge has done a very good job in the centre for Australia so far in the series.
Long. Aguirre is dangerous from this range. Won't fall. This is Reidy. Smythe. Vlahov, top scorer in game 3 in Melbourne. Ronaldson also had a good game. Rees is free. Wants Ronaldson under the basket and was fouled.
Yeah, good pass there coming from Rees out to Ronaldson, into Ronaldson underneath. The Australians ran that particularly well. They made the double team. Now, the difference you see between the Aussies and the US team is when the double team occurs, the Americans always find the open man. Not so often the Australians, but they did it well on that occasion and didn't come up with the points.
They'll get the ball back, though. Touched by the All-Stars. Ronaldson with a wayward shot. He's got the ball back now and wants 3.
That's Tony Ronaldson's strength. He can go inside and out. He can hit that 3, and I'm sure you'll see him hit plenty tonight. But John Long, certainly he's going to be one of the players that will have to step up in the absence of Magic Johnson. Mike McGee, Australians did well to make that baseline trap, and they really worked hard on that and ran it to perfection that time. They allowed McGee to take the baseline, cut him off at the pass. Patrick Reidy was hit on the way down the middle, so the foul's coming thick and fast underneath from the Magic Johnson All-Stars. A couple of early fouls.
And it's that man, John Long, again, just as Mark Aguirre seems to be the first man to score each game. It seems that John Long is the first man in foul trouble. He has 2 already in the match, less than 2 minutes into the game. Smythe for 3.
Long bomb on what will be his home court here with the Sydney Kings. Patrick Reidy with straps, making the throw line, and Australia in front 4-2, and a bit of a hesitant start from the Magic Johnson All-Stars you can see here.
Well, this is their 4th game. That was a tough shot from Lester Connor.
Yeah, Smythe made a tough play. Excellent D.
Reidy.
Patrick Reidy making 2 in a row, not this time. And that's the transition game here of the Magic Johnson All-Stars. Australia back on defence well.
As I was about to say, has been a very hectic campaign for the All-Stars. This is their 4th game. Haven't had a lot of rest. They're playing 1 man short now, just 9 in the squad, with Magic confined to the coaching role. Lester Connor has been a star throughout the series. McGee. Yes.
Mike McGee, the former Los Angeles Laker, connects from outside the 3-point arc. And it's the Magic Johnson All-Stars in front by 5 points to 4. That is better run offense. It's the best run offense we've seen in the opening couple of minutes from the visiting team. Andrew Vlahov, that was a tough shot to try and make. On his offhand, his left hand, stepping all the way to the hoop and took it all the way. Got the steal, but wasn't able to find his teammate Smythe.
McGee. This is Long for 3. No. Smythe has it.
The Australians getting to that first shooter, forcing the extra pass on that occasion, and Mike McGee not able to make it, almost turning off. Move from Vlahov, little behind the back. He's the exhibition team here. Andrew Vlahov turning it on.
Has certainly been outstanding. He's in the captaincy role here, and Rees, good move. Ronaldson with the assist.
Up move from Paul Rees. That was a beautifully run. You can see Barry Barnes loved that piece of offense, and Magic Johnson a little bit concerned in the opening 3.5 minutes. He's gone for the timeout button first, and I think it's the first occasion in the series that Magic has gone for the timeout before Barry Barnes.
Well, I think it's fair to say that they ruffled a few feathers there in Game 3 in in Melbourne, Phil, when the Boomers took the lead and almost snatched the first victory. And no doubt Magic and his team are aware that this is a dangerous outfit. They have got better as the series has gone on, and with Magic confined to the bench and his players now having to play their 4th game in less than a week, there are some positive signs there for the Boomers.
I think what he'll be telling his team, apart from as he diagrams this offense here, to use their quickness. That's the advantage they have over the Australians at the moment. They've got basically 4 guards out there at the moment in Lester Connor and Marcel Henry, Mike McGee and John Long, who's a guard forward. And then, of course, you've got filling up the middle, Mark Aguirre. But those 4 can use their quickness up and down the floor to beat the Australians. Unfortunately, McGee and Henry have the old legs, but certainly in the early part of the game you'd think they'd be running what they've got in their legs to get up and down the court quickly and see if they can create those transition baskets.
Sellout crowd here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. The final game in Perth is also a sellout. Fans have really warmed to this team, the All-Stars. Very slick outfit, very entertaining. They play it tough, but plenty of action already in the series. This is John Long. High scorer in Game 3 for the All-Stars with 27. McGee, Aguirre, penetrates, and how many times have we seen him march in there and score that easy 2?
Great moves for someone so big. When I say big, very solid. Paul Reed, what a start from him. He's heading to the hole well after that opening tentative move. He's made a couple of great moves to the basket, and Australia maintaining the lead at 10 points to 7. Question of what sort of job Rees can do on Aguirre at the other end. He got switched up previously. They took 3 men to Aguirre that time. It will be a side ball to the Americans.
Vlahov has the foul.
So one foul to Vlahov.
Right here.
I say side ball. It comes in from the end, of course, under the rules this year. The rule changing
Arms down.
New Year 1995. Aguirre inside Ronaldson and draws the foul again. So I think you might have seen some instructions from Magic Johnson in that timeout to go to Aguirre. He's the go-to man right now. And a mini timeout being called while Aguirre is on the free throw line. Seen Aguirre struggle in this area at times. Seen him miss about 5 straight and then hit 5 straight, but got his shooting touch with him tonight. And he, along with Magic, in the first 3 games, provided, the first 2 games at least, provided all the scoring.
Is averaging 26 points in the series through the first 3 games. And what a night he had on the opening match in Adelaide. Could not miss. This is Ronaldson, goes inside, and it looks like McGee is going to pick up the foul. Ronaldson will go to the line.
The furrowed forward of Mike McGee. And Tony Ronaldson out-fumbled him on that play. He dropped the ball on the floor, and that can often be the best play because you're going after the ball, have a reach in, and that's where McGee got caught.
No doubt Ronaldson, who joined
Mark Aguirre is getting into Jeff Micallef, so he's already started on the referees.
Well, that's nothing new, Mark Aguirre. Loves to have a chat. Wonder if he's ever tried refereeing himself. He seems to know enough about it.
I think he was asking a legitimate question that time because he was asking why Ronaldson is shooting the free throws. He figured that it was a loose ball scramble. 12-8 on Ronaldson's free throws, and up come the Australians on defence to put some up-floor pressure. They go to Long and Aguirre for 3. Cannot make it, and a tip in from Marcel Henry. He's got some hops.
We've likened him to Leon Tremingham, the Sydney Kings star who plays so well here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Marcel Henry, very much of that ilk. Not the tallest man, Reidy, no. Marcel Henry has the ball. They are running.
This is problems right here for Phil Smyth. The return pass from Long into the hands of Lester Connor, and all they could do was foul him, and it'll be the second one against Andrew Vlahov.
Got all ball with the hand, but certainly the push was with the body. We'll see it in replay. Vlahov all hand on the ball.
I don't think so.
But
didn't like the call, obviously, but what player does?
Lester Connor goes to the line.
Lester Connor, who has been with 5 NBA clubs, and I mean that can be a help on a team like this because when you're used to playing with so many different organisations, he comes onto a team like this and has really formed an integral part of this lineup. Been there in the starting 5 all week. Starting guard. Got a different partner with him tonight, though, in Marcel Henry, but they seem to have a pretty good understanding. Australia clean to the 1-point lead. Smyth running things from the point. And low they go to Ronaldson this time. Quick pass, but not from Smyth that time. Finding ball, not finding Vlahov. So picked off by John Long. And Mike McGee beats Paul Rees to the hoop, but couldn't make the shot. A chance at the other end for the Australians now. But they'll have to settle this down and play some 5-on-5 because the defensive transition was good. Tony Ronaldson got the roll from the hoop. 14-11. Nothing can intimidate Tony Ronaldson. He's played against some pretty good players all around the world. Count that to Lester Connor. He was fouled as well, and Connor will go to the line for the 3-point play. Foul was on Smyth, and he's being substituted out of the game. But we'll watch again. Lester Connor just showed him the move. Smyth wasn't able to go with him. Now Greg Hubbard, who will be Smyth's teammate for the Sydney Kings, comes in. And Ray Borner coming in to take out Paul Rees. So a couple of changes in the Australian lineup. Be a big test here for Greg Hubbard against these 2 very smart guards in Marcel Henry and Lester Connor. Greg playing the point here tonight, but has never been considered a straight-up point man. He's always been a 1-man or a 2-man, and perhaps about a 1.5. Shoots the ball very well from the backcourt, but now he's got the test to run the show.
And loves nothing more than a scrap, Greg Hubbard. Works very hard. Borner had it and lost it. And we're running again with John Long. Out to Lester Connor for 2. No.
Australians will already have been signalled that those passes have to be right on the button because these guys very quick into the passing lanes with their hands. again that pass that they tried down to the corner. It was Hubbard that time couldn't connect. You already saw that Smythe had difficulty on connecting on that pass into the corner. Hubbard running off plenty of screens to free himself up to get the ball.
Vlahov can't get the three-pointer, but Borna comes up with a rebound, comes up with two and gets a third. This time, no!
Has it knocked away from him by Mark Aguirre, but Aguirre, referee Mikulev said, was standing on the end line, and already Mikulev and Aguirre are not friends. Hasn't taken long.
Working hard, Ray Borna under the basket. Goes up again. Aguirre gets a hand on it, but his foot was on the line. This is Hubbard for three. Yes! Great start for Hubbard at his home court.
Knows his way around this building. 17-14 the Australians lead. And now let's see what sort of reply the team in white can come up with.
Good work from Vlahov again. Has played that way all series, and the Boomers will come up with the ball.
Force the turnover. They forced the bad shot last time, so a couple of good defensive efforts from the Boomers. They're not putting any pressure on Greg Hubbard with the ball.
Ronaldson loses the handle. McGee comes up with it and finds long, but it is too long for Lester Connor.
That is very, very unusual. We've rarely seen some of those fast break passes miss their mark. That is one that was way over the top.
Hubbard keen to run the ball. Goes to Reidy.
They're in a zone now. Now this is interesting because I spoke to Magic last week about, or early this week, about whether he would play a zone or not, and Australia has turned it over. Indication of just how much is on the line in this game. They're protecting an unbeaten record that stretches now 37 games. And they want to maintain that record, and they've gone to a zone. Remember, these are players about their NBA careers who are not allowed to play zone by legislation. Aguirre was fouled there by Borna, and Aguirre will go to the stripe. That's one of the problems the Australians are going to have. People like Ray Borna, who's got the muscle to go with Mark Aguirre underneath, but as soon as he takes him onto the outside, he hasn't got the quickness to go with him.
32 years of age, Ray Borna, triple Olympian.
And Ray is another one who's very keen to go to Atlanta in 1996. He desperately wants 4 Olympics against his name. Mike McGee taking a seat for the Magic Johnson All-Stars. Jim Farmer's come in, and already a little cut. I'm not sure whether Ray brought that into the game, but a little scratch on the forehead.
Also, Joe Small into the game for the All-Stars. This will cut the lead to just 1 if Aguirre connects.
Might put some up-court pressure on. I was wondering why the rebounders had come up that time with Aguirre, but no, they go back, and there's 2-3 zone. Interesting move.
He's enjoying this coaching role, Magic.
Well, particularly when he said at the start of the week, we don't play zones. Got one going there.
This is Farmer. He's an outstanding outside shooter, but so is this man, Aguirre. Vlahov, big rebound.
Ray Borna talked him into taking that shot. He gambled a little bit, a little whack in the face there for Vlahov on the way through. 3-point shot from Tony Ronaldson. 20 points to 16. The Australians lead it. Good passage of play for them. The defense being called on at the moment. They're answering most of the questions being put. Marcel Henry meets big Tony Ronaldson. He's got plenty of size there, and a reach in there by Greg Hubbard to strip the ball from Lester Connor results in a foul. That's the 16th foul against the Australians, and 2 shots here to Lester Connor. Scott Fisher coming into the game for Perth Wildcats, making his Australian debut. What a moment it is for him.
And is joined on court by Patrick Eddy, 6'11" centre for the All-Stars, getting his first taste of the action. 3:17 remaining here in the first quarter. The Boomers lead by 4. Lester Connor on the line.
And Ray Borna would enjoy guarding Patrick Eddy, 6'10" against 6'11", much more than he'd enjoy guarding Mark Aguirre. Aguirre on the bench at the moment. So they've got Eddy and the 4 quicks out there. We'll see Eddy clean up the boards and try and ignite the fast break. It's a good rebounder, but he's got Borna to go against tonight. Shot selection all important here for Australia. looking to go into Vlahov and came off a white singlet, though, an Australian ball from the end line. Interesting to see how Scott Fisher fits into this team. Vying for a place with Mark Davis, the two naturalised players. Well, Fisher uncorking his first shot. That's not a bad start to make for the big Perth Wildcats forward. Off the baseline for 2.
Has been one of the great imports into the NBL here. And a big match on his hands. This is Eddie. Magic would not like him to be shooting the ball from there. Barry Barnes would not like that sort of thing to happen to Greg Hubbard.
Yes, turnover by the Australians, wasting the ball there, and weren't able to connect with Greg Hubbard. It just made it too tough for him to drag that pass in, trying to get the fast break going. It's been a very good quarter for the Australians so far. They've, the fact that they lead by 4, but they've kept the All-Stars here to 18 points in 10 minutes of basketball. Hubbard wheeled that well. To the hands of Fisher again underneath. Vlahov was open, but Fisher, his Perth Wildcat teammate, ignored him.
This is Stephen Whitehead to Hubbard. The All-Stars no doubt missing Magic at the moment. Warner, will he go to work on Eddie? No. Dishes to Fisher. Turns, has Jim Farmer in his face, but still makes the 2-point.
And Fisher loves that shot. He loves a bit of body on him and a bit of fade away. He's made that shot against so many people throughout his career. Help out there from Vlahov. Almost took it off Connor.
Good hands from Connor. This is Henry. Jim Farmer steps around his man and goes all the way over Ray Warner for 2.
Really knows how to take the ball to the hoop, Jim Farmer. 6'4" against 6'10", but timed his leap so well. Too good for Ray Warner.
1:30 remaining here in the first quarter. The Boomers up by 4. It's been a good start for them, although they have turned the ball over.
And back into the 2-3 zone. Joe Small taking his position again. Justin Withers wearing number 12 coming in. He's going to take out Andrew Vlahov.
The Boomers get the ball back. There was a white hand on it. Here is Whitehead for 3. No, but Fisher gets the rebound. Kicks it out to Hubbard, who shoots for 3. And Fisher almost the tip in, but Marcel Henry has it. And
stolen by Whitehead. Stephen Whitehead makes the steal underneath. Barry Barnes has got all 10 players into the game in the first quarter. Short there with the shot.
Gets it back though, Lester Connor. Tries his luck again, misses for the second time.
Now Australia can pinch an 8-point break right here. 50-odd seconds to go in the first quarter. They lead by 6 and the foul will go against Farmer. But that's only the 4th team foul against the Magic Johnson All-Stars, so no free throw shooting on this one. But the Aussies do get the ball back. 50 seconds to go. The move from Fisher, Farmer wasn't able to go with him.
Has had a great start to his Australian career here, Scott Fisher. Has the ball again. 2 more.
And got the foul as well. I think it was on Jim Farmer, but it's going to be a 3-point play to Scott Fisher.
The personal foul assessed to number 31, Patrick Eddy.
In fact, it was Patrick Eddy helping out Jim Farmer. Look at that, 6 points to Scott Fisher already. He's only been on the court for about 2.5 minutes. Come out with scoring on his mind.
Well, he's seen Mark Davis play so well. They are fighting for that one spot, along with Ricky Grace, the naturalised Australians, to go to Atlanta. So he has a lot of ground to recover.
There it is, 9-point lead to Australia and 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. And they blocked the shot of Farmer. A chance to take it out even further here, the Australians. Thought they might try and take some time off the clock right there. 32 seconds left on the game clock, 25 seconds left on the shot clock. See how much they can use of it right here. Not leave the All-Stars too much to play with.
Whitehead.
No, Whitehead got it away straight away. Well, they're going to give them a full 24 seconds to play with the ball. And of course, these guys used to playing with the 24-second clock. That's the maximum. Justin with the reach-in foul, and back they'll come to shoot a pair. Both teams in the bonus right now. Justin Withers is one of the strong men in the game. They've got some bulk out there with Borner in the centre. Withers and Fisher at each forward. Got some quickness with Whitehead and Hubbard running the point. Marcel Henry, who started in place of Magic Johnson in this game, scoring off the free throw line. He's only scored 3 for the quarter, 7 to Aguirre, 6 to Lester Connor. They've shot just 33% from the floor in the first quarter. That's as low as they've shot in the series.
We're shooting at 61 in the first quarter of the match last evening in Melbourne. Magic has his problems as he sits and watches. Hubbard taking time off the clock. 8 seconds remaining. They go to Whitehead. Needs to get a shot away and hits it. What a shot.
Got a good shot away and not enough time left. Reidy Forward put pressure on the inbounds pass. Stopped the pass from coming in from Patrick Eddie so that they weren't able to get another one off. But a good way to finish for Stephen Whitehead, the Australian Boomers. The score after 1 quarter of basketball at the Sydney Entertainment Centre in Game 4, 31-22.
Remember Aussie Sundays and how the chook was worth the wait. Red Rooster does, so they cook it right to make it Sunday every day.
Australia, your chicken is ready. Australia, ready right now. Australia, your chicken is ready. Red Rooster.
Australia's favourite chook.
It takes a great deal of boldness and a great deal of caution to make a great fortune. And it takes 10 times as much wit to keep it.
To turn your savings into investments, the question is not which fund manager, but which Rothschild managed fund. From $2,000, Rothschild, 200 years of investment experience.
To celebrate the Magic Johnson All-Stars Down Under Tour, SBS offers you the chance to win one of 20 Magic Johnson prize packs. All you have to do is tell us Magic Johnson's number. You could win an NBA Jam Session board game from Hunter Sportsline and a Spalding basketball personally autographed by Magic Johnson, together with the official tour merchandise including a cap, t-shirt and program. So call us on 0055 60209.
To design a family sedan with more interior space, most car manufacturers would make the car bigger. But at Nissan, to make the interior bigger, we made the suspension more compact, which not only increased interior space, but provided better road handling and a more comfortable ride. The all-new and very clever V6 Maxima. Just wait till you drive it.
And welcome back to the Entertainment Centre in Sydney after an excellent first quarter from the Australian Boomers. We've seen them lead 31 points to 22, and John Casey, we've seen them in this situation before.
Yes, they have had a great first quarter, of course, last night. They were down by 6 last night, but in Game 2 in Brisbane, led by 4, 29 to 25. But the good part about it so far as we're concerned here this evening is that they've restricted the All-Stars to just 22 points. They're not shooting well, they're shooting 33%. And also, the other good news is that the rebounding stats at the moment heavily favour the Boomers 13 to 8.
Yes, they've done well in that particular area. I'm just wondering about this decision of Magic's, and I'm certainly not going to question his credentials as a coach because he's been in far better places than me, but to go to a zone with a team that is not used to playing a zone. He knows what he's doing out there, but it's not working for him at the moment. He's gone back and forth from man-to-man to zone on a couple of occasions, and wonder what he's going to come back to. Well, we'll see in just a couple of moments because all is in readiness now for a start in quarter number 2. High scorers, Ronaldson with 7, Fisher with 7 for the Australians. Mark Aguirre has 7 for the Magic Johnson All-Stars. And in fact, he's left Aguirre on the bench for the start of quarter number 2. Let's hope he's not injured. Farmer gets one up but not in. And over the top, Patrick Eddie is called for the foul. Scott Fisher really got a good body on him then and blocked him off the boards well. And the big man, 6'11", Patrick Eddie, had to reach over the top and all he could do was foul.
Has come to play, Scott Fisher. Came off the bench and hit 7 quick points in the first quarter.
Phil Smythe back at the point for Australia. Paul Rees, who started in the centre and started very well in there, is back in the lineup. And Stephen Whitehead, who made that last shot, not able to connect with that one. Whitehead, who had a chance to win it for Australia last night, put Australia in front, and then of course had that disastrous turnover with about 7 seconds to go.
Comes up with the rebound now and feeds Smythe. Fisher is loose, gets the ball, likes it from this range, is going inside.
And
what a block
by Eddie. Eddie saw that hook coming and got a big swat on it.
Well, he's going to learn very quickly, Scott Fisher, that this is a talented outfit.
Nothing that time for Joe Small from the baseline. They're coming up with a few misses, and that shooting percentage has dropped away to 30%. The Australian shooting 48, and we haven't seen that kind of stat at all in the series.
Smythe
point bomb from the general, and he connects. And we saw him take 2 shots last night. Didn't make a point, but that's a pretty good start from him. Economical shooter, 34 to 22, and a big break for the Australians. That's their biggest of the series. 12 points. Eddie wants it down low to work in against Paul Rees. Gets that left-handed hook shot up. Rees forced him into a shot that he wasn't all that familiar with. Forced him onto his offhand. A good defensive job from the big man. Spilled that one though, and here comes the fast break. And Farmer fed it off into the hands, and a good hand in there from Whitehead coming back. I was surprised that Farmer didn't take it all the way to the hoop, because he does finish the fast break well. Probably in retrospect, he's probably thinking, I wish I had him. And Justin Withers reigns in the three. We know that Justin Withers has got range. He can work well down in the low block, and he can shoot that outside three. Something in the Ronaldson mould there.
15-point break. The Boomers haven't been in this position all series. It's game 4 from Sydney.
Henry down the middle, under some pressure there from Withers. Away they come again.
Shots just not going for the All-Stars.
Fisher, and connects for another 2. So the shoe is very much on the other foot. We've seen the Australians in transition leave the white shirts behind that time. 17-point break. Very big period right here for the Australians.
Eaton for 3. They needed that.
Their first points in the second quarter have come after almost 3 minutes in this period.
Are being subdued by an Aussie team buoyed by their performance last night, where they almost stole it. Withers.
A little rush of blood there for Justin that time, because he had defense right up on him. Wasn't as open as his first shot. And a 2-pointer there coming from Joe Small from the wing. You've got to respect all these shooters, because people like Small and Farmer can really connect from outside.
They are shooting 31% at the moment, but don't expect that to continue for the entire night. Aguirre is getting ready to check back in. Smythe for 3, yes!
Well, Barry Barnes has obviously told them to go out there and have a good time. If the 3-point shot opens up, they've got to go ahead and take it, and nobody has needed much of an invitation so far. We've seen Justin Withers hang up a couple from outside the 3-point line, now a couple from Smythe. 42 plays 27.
Barry Barnes will be very, very happy with this start by the Boomers. They've been very impressive at both ends of the floor. Henry.
Marcel Henry clanged one off the back of the rim that time. Whitehead wasn't able to clean up the rebound. There was an errant pass there waiting for someone to nip.
Eaton, no.
Off the shoulder there of Justin Withers. He's doing a very good job trying to block out, but just forgot where the ball was. Aussie's lucky to get the ball back.
The All-Stars, 8 of 27 from the field.
Big stat is from the 3-point line, particularly in this quarter. Withers left on his back, so he's 1 of 3 in this quarter, and now 5 of 14 in that area. Not afraid to put them up. Battle on the boards, falls the crumbs to Smythe, and Withers. Smythe, well, the 3-point bomb, that was a shot that perhaps could have been held back, because he didn't have rebound balance there. I guess he figured on having Whitehead and Withers around him headed for the boards, but the low percentage shot.
And here come the changes. Aguirre and McGee and John Long.
Well, what the Australians are doing right now, John, is they're able to run the Americans up and down the floor. And you've seen Magic have to go deep into his bench right now and get some fresh bodies out there, because the Australians making regular substitutions, running up and down the floor very quickly with Reidy back in the game right now. They're pushing that ball up and down and taking the gas out of the visiting team.
They'll be looking to the likes of Long here and Aguirre, trying to bridge a 15-point gap. The Boomers have opened up. Oh, Aguirre will get a second chance here.
Well, right in front of 4 Australians. Scott Fisher was off to the races. He was going to go and cherry pick on that one. Mark Aguirre against Ray Borner. There's a couple of strong men, and the help out there from Smythe.
They are keen, the Boomers.
The quick hands from the general.
What a player he's been over the years, Phil Smythe, and still going. Good double team there.
Forced the ball out over the end line, putting plenty of pressure on Aguirre. That is dangerous because Aguirre can turn and find the open man. Hand in there from Borner that time. Not able to make the shot. Fisher controls the board in front of Mike McGee. He had too much size for McGee. Patrick Reidy. Oh, the pass there to Smythe. They were all over him. Real hospital pass. Long, up off the glass. Couldn't make the 2. So the shots that have fallen in other games, once the pressure is starting to go on, they're just not falling for the Magic Johnson All-Stars right here.
25% from the floor. They are having no joy. At the other end, this is Borner. Reidy, Fisher. They move the ball quickly to Withers. Setting up for a percentage shot. 6 minutes remaining here in the second quarter. Patrick Reidy. Yes, no. Rims out. They'll get the ball again, though. Good work from Withers. Stripped of it by Aguirre.
Quick push up the ball from Michael Eaton, trying to locate Long down low. He's got a mismatch against Smythe. Realises it gets the shot off, but can't take advantage. Long, about 6'4", Smythe 6 foot. Tried to stand him up on the low block. And Scott Fisher again with that fadeaway.
Having a great game, Scott Fisher. 11 points for the match.
First player in the game into double figures. Again, they trapped on the baseline. Aguirre for the 3. Under a bit of pressure. Borner reefs in the rebound.
Going to earn their money tonight, the All-Stars. The shots aren't dropping, and the Boomers have a 17-point break. Stolen by Long, but he couldn't control it out over the sideline. The referee said an Australian hand came in there. The ball will belong to the Magic Johnson All-Stars. The team minus Magic Johnson, if you've just joined us. Magic not able to take his place on the court because of a strained calf muscle that he's been carrying for about a game and a half now. Just tweaked it again last night, and it's become to a stage where it's just going to go again anytime he puts weight on it. Magic... It's a little forlorn there at the moment, a little pensive. 3-point shot from Mark Aguirre off the front of the rim. It's not falling. Even resorted to the body language there and couldn't make it go.
25-12, the rebound count now is in favour of Australia.
By far their most impressive performance.
All coming to the defensive end of some missed shots because the opposing team has fallen away to 24% from the field. Nothing there for Patrick Reidy either. Away they come. And we've got a charge. He said Smythe was there in time. Smythe does that. He knew where the ball was coming from. Michael Eaton. The thing is here, does Michael Eaton have a chance to land? He certainly did. He got 2 steps in before he got to Smythe. Good defensive position and a good call from Jeff Mickelett. Sometimes a sneaky guard like Smythe will get in that position without allowing the player a chance to land and land on his feet, but he certainly got 2 feet on the floor before he connected with Smythe then.
Vlahov and Hubbard back in the game. They exchange passes. Vlahov puts up an awkward shot, but Borner gets the rebound but can't make it go.
Taken out of it by Aguirre.
McGee.
Langs one off the hoop. Hubbard back in there for Smythe. And Greg Hubbard has looked pretty good with the ball. They haven't put a lot of pressure on him. Under 4 minutes to go till half-time. 17-point game. The Australians doing it very well in this quarter. They took a 9-point lead into this break, and underneath for the man, Ronaldson from the South East Melbourne Magic. Knocks another 2 in. Ray Borner with a hold on Aguirre from behind. That will only be the 2nd team foul for the Australians. They've done well in that area too. 3.5 minutes to go till half-time, and only their 2nd team foul. And 2nd to Borner. Had a pretty good start to the game, Borner. Jim Farmer's come in to take out Mike McGee, so plenty of subs coming off the bench trying to keep fresh legs out there. Remember, they're only playing with 9 players, with Magic unable to take his place on the court. 3-point shot, and it's sweet. Michael Eaton does what his teammates haven't been able to do for quite some time. Patrick Reidy had opened up for him, but he just really hasn't had any sort of shooting touch at all this week, not on a consistent basis, certainly. Vlahov with a strong defense out there. Reidy is 1 of 6 from the field.
To go with 3 of 18 in game 1.
He had a horror in game 1. I thought he started to get together in games 2 and 3 a bit, but just hasn't been with him at all. Underneath there's the man we were talking about. That's the sort of range you want to go to if you're starting to struggle with your shooting.
Reidy checking in for Magic's All-Star.
Patrick Reidy is the sort of player who runs the offense very well. I mean, there are a couple of players that have come into the Australian team this week, and they've struggled to run some of the more complicated sets of offense that Australia is trying to run. Down the middle goes Connor, stripped off him. Hubbard's off to the races with Vlahov in front of him, all the way to the hole for the big man. That's the sort of invitation he loves. Anyone in front of him, he has got absolutely no fear. He'll take it right to the hoop. 50 points to 30.
Well, who would have thought the Boomers would lead it by 20 with 2 minutes remaining before halftime? They have certainly come good here in game 4 in Sydney, and the All-Stars have gone very, very cold with the shooting, down to 24%. Aguirre is 2 from 7. Marchell Henry 1 from 6. McGee 1 from 5.
The important thing, as you see Vlahov there, is they've done it without a big contribution offensively from Andrew Vlahov, who's been their high man all through the week. And an offensive foul called on Mark Aguirre by referee Roger Shields. This will be interesting. Aguirre.
Hey. Hands up. He's back on D. Back on D.
Aguirre saying, hey, he's grabbing me. I think Roger Shields thought that Aguirre was grabbing Shields in some sort of an intimidatory manner there. He can be an intimidating presence, the big man. Yeah, only 2, so no great problems for him right here, but loves a chat to the referee. Under 2 minutes to go in the quarter, and of course till half-time. Hubbard can't get that one to fall, and Borna couldn't get the scraps either, but Hubbard chased it down well in front of Michael Eaton. Quick hands from Hubs.
The home fans loving it here, the Sydney Kings guard. The All-Stars have their problems, including another foul to Michael Eaton.
Interesting the way Australia ran that offense there. It was almost a pro-style offense. So the 2 big men, Borna and Tony Ronaldson, come high, but instead of just staying at the high post, they walked outside the circle, virtually to make a 2-man game down low. That's when Hubbard took it to the hoop. Oh, Reidy trying to dump off there to Tony Ronaldson. Not connecting with the shot, and that can happen because Reidy, that shot was there on for Reidy, but because he's perhaps losing a little bit of confidence, tried to dump off a pass that wasn't there.
Well, the All-Stars, unbelievably, have shot just 30 points so far here as we approach half-time. Aguirre draws a foul. In the first 3 games, they've twice scored in the 60s to half-time. 67 and 65 it was in game 3. Their lowest had been game 2 in Brisbane with 53, and they are at just 30 as we speak with 58 seconds remaining.
And that last foul going against Patrick Reidy.
Magic is confused here on the benches.
Timeout, inquiring to the running.
Put it back up.
Maybe they let the clock run a little. Magic saw the clock still running after the whistle had gone, so we're going to have a reset on the clock. They had it down to about 58 seconds. And Magic sharing a bit of a joke there with Andrew Vlahov. Those two have become quite close during the week, the opposing captains. And I know Magic has a great deal of respect for Andrew Vlahov.
And rightly so. Vlahov has been a star in this series. First time as skipper. Top scored for the Boomers with 21 in game 1. And also top scored in game 3. Vlahov with 24 points.
Magic knows that he's stopped this whole place right now where they've got to count the clock down, and the big crowd here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre give him a nice old razz because he's in control right now. Magic with an almost embarrassed smile about it because they have to wait. The clock counts down seconds by second to something just over a minute. There it is.
They anticipated he would have some impact on the game. Probably quite not like that, Phil.
And listen to this crowd chanting the Magic right there. Magic Boomer. I mean, all the man has to do is stand up, and they love it. I mean, he hasn't touched the basketball.
Well, I mentioned it earlier in this series that with the state elections coming up, he'd just about win that as well.
State, federal, you name it. I mean, Bill Clinton would have some concern, wouldn't he, if he put his hand up? Hubbard against Eaton. Greg Hubbard has done very well in this game. He's handled this job at the point guard with a great deal of aplomb, but not so much Patrick Reidy that time. Stripped by Jim Farmer and straight to the hole. Better decision by Farmer that time. I mentioned his ability to finish the fast break. He took it on his own instead of dumping off there. Tony Ronaldson, the bear. And a man right up in his face. It was Marcel Henry that was good enough to make the shot. And a 21-point break again. So Australia should take something like a 20-point lead at least into the major break, and it fell for Marcel Henry. So big bucket there for Henry right before the break, and we're looking for one last play here for Australia. They'll slow this thing up, try and put the ball through plenty of sets of hands, try and get plenty of movement out there.
The All-Stars have been subdued by...
They lost the ball.
Eaton is away and running, has Farmer free, goes to him, and Jim Farmer puts it back to some more.
A couple of good baskets for Farmer. We get a last-second shot here from Hubbard off the front of the rim, and that'll be all she wrote for the first half. And a bit of a lapse there towards the end. The Australians made a bit of a mess. It blew 5 points right at the finish. So at half-time here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre, this is game number 4 in the series. The Australian Boomers and the Magic Johnson All-Stars. It's the Aussies leading it, 53 points to 38.
It breeds sin. Sin. And dancing, it breeds evil. Evil. Of course, I could be wrong about the dancing.
The shutter opens. A shiny skull is caught in sharp focus. Behind it, the dying photographer's face melts into black. The shutter closes.
The Kronos Quartet, 8:30 Sunday on SBS.
Life as we know it, life as other people live it. A personal journey down the fork in the road with Ria Viswillingham.
Indonesia is an explosion of life, a dense highway of humanity.
A non-traveller's guide to the essential Buenos Aires, Zimbabwe, Alsace, Greece, Sumatra and San Francisco.
Natural Africa can still leave you a little breathless.
The second series of this idiosyncratic program shows it's not so much the place, but the people you meet on the way that makes for lasting travel memories.
If Brazilians prefer to undress, Argentines choose to dress up.
Take an alternative view of the world. A Fork in the Road, 8 o'clock, Tuesday. No passport or ticket is necessary.
We used
used to think the world was flat, and we had no concept of what was happening in societies outside of our own.
Thankfully, we now know what the world looks like.
And we can see what's going on in every corner of it.
We know that events in a remote area can have global repercussions.
And we know that the world can look very different depending on where you're standing.
From here, the best view of the world can be seen on SBS.
The World News.
6:30 nightly.
9:30 Thursday, Maurizio Nicchetti's award-winning comedy, Volere Volare.
Caduta passante, 12ª.
A romance with a difference. An integration of animation and real life in an offbeat fable for adults in the style of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Your movie of the week, Volere Volare, 9:30 Thursday on SBS.
The Sydney Entertainment Centre and the half-time crowd here being thoroughly entertained, and they've been entertained by a very good first half from the Australian Boomers. Perhaps not so their opposition tonight, because they've really been subdued. If you've just joined us, Magic Johnson not able to play the first half, in fact not playing in the game because of an injury suffered the other night. But let's take a look at the stats and find out how Australia got there. Well, Australia leading in all the major areas. Right at the top, there's the scoreline, 53 playing 38, but the shot percentage is 46% to the Australians, which is just about where they'd like it, but 29% to the Magic Johnson All-Stars, an indication of the kind of shots they're getting and the kind of defensive pressure Australia's been able to put on them. Free throw line, well, not too bad from either side. In fact, very good from the Boomers. But on the three-point line, well, that matches the field shot area, because 33 to 21, 33 is a very respectable percentage from outside the three-point area, but 21% is not what the All-Stars would like to shoot. In fact, what they have been shooting all week. The rebound count, have a look at that, 29 to 16, and a 13, well, almost 2-to-1 rebound count to the Australians. You can relate that to the kind of shot percentage we're seeing too, because the Australians picking off plenty off the defensive boards. 10 to 6 the turnovers, and 12-2 in the assists area, when we've seen the All-Stars firing the ball around in the first 3 games and finding men in shooting positions. Well, they're not finding that tonight. So real problems here for the team that has a record of 37-0. They've been playing all around the world. They've won 37 and lost none. Of course, playing without Magic Johnson, their trump card tonight, like a ship without a rudder. Earlier in the week, we spoke to Magic Johnson and found out a little bit more about him. Let's find out a little bit more about the man they call Magic.
Yeah, somebody's already called Dr. J. Somebody's already called Big E. I want to call you Magic. So I started laughing, 15 years old. I didn't know any better. So here I am 30 years later, or 20 years later, I should say. I'm 35. I guess I'm still Magic. So I guess he knew what he was talking about and I didn't.
Your early life was just completely basketball, and I read here in the book that you would do a drill where you would bounce the ball against a wall. Can you just tell us about that and the other things you used to do?
Well, I used to bounce.
Yes, back here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre, Magic, well, what a man. He's, I mean, he is feeling very bad himself tonight, because he's not able to take his place out there on the court. And he came out on the court at the start of the game, if you were with us right at the very beginning, and apologised to the fans out here tonight for him not being able to be present. He has an injury that he just can't play with, and it is a great shame for all the fans who have turned out here tonight. Paid pretty big money for tickets too, but of course for our television audience as well. So real problems here for the Magic Johnson All-Stars, playing without the man himself, coaching them from the sideline, but it's certainly not the same as being out on the floor. So there's a section of the crowd. Well, it looks a little bit sparse there, but of course people off at half-time and on the concession stands, and we've got a very good crowd in here tonight. We haven't been told a figure, but I imagine it's about 90% full. And when this place is full, it certainly does rock. And I guess a lot of people too have been starved of basketball, because they're all eagerly anticipating the start of the 1995 National Basketball League season, which begins in April. And a lot of the Sydney Kings fans who regularly come here to the Sydney Entertainment Centre want to see the Kings play. Well, they're getting some basketball here tonight and getting some great basketball. The Kings, in fact, are out of town tonight, and they're playing in Dubbo against the Brisbane Bullets in an exhibition game out there in the pre-season, and playing without quite a few people too, because they've got 3 players involved: Justin Withers, Hubbard in the game tonight, and Phil Smythe. So yeah, not a lot of Sydney Kings are going to be out in Dubbo tonight, but there's the situation. We've got a scoreline that reads 53-38 in favour of the Australian Boomers. We'll take this break and be back in a moment.
To celebrate the Magic Johnson All-Stars Down Under Tour, SBS offers you the chance to win one of 20 Magic Johnson prize packs. All you have to do is tell us Magic Johnson's number. You could win an NBA Jam Session board game from Hunter Sportsline and a Spalding basketball personally autographed by Magic Johnson, together with the official tour merchandise including a cap, t-shirt and program. So call us on 0055 60209.
Elle est belle cette ville.
Angela Blanche. Oui. Elle était belle.
Set against a background of intolerance, disillusionment and violence, Autumn October in Algiers. At 9:30 movie this Tuesday, the violence and the corruption.
Faites-nous confiance.
And the build-up to the terrible events of October 5th, 1988. Autumn October in Algiers, Tuesday at 9:30. On Wednesday, an hour of essential viewing for the latest in cinema and creativity. On the movie show, Behind the Scenes with Kylie Minogue on Hayride to Hell. We talk to the director and star of Before the Rain, Best Film at Venice, and sophisticated comedy with Jim Carrey in Dumb and Dumber. Then at 8 on Imagine, the dying art of taxidermy, from dead pets to film props, and physical theatre with Legs on the Wall. The movie show at 7:30, Imagine at 8, Wednesday nights. With Australia's Wallabies gearing up to defend their World Championship title at this year's Rugby World Cup, SBS brings you a weekly global roundup of all the action from international rugby, with reports from Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Britain, France, Italy, Spain and Argentina. All the background you need in the lead up to the 1995 Rugby World Cup in South Africa. World Rugby, Sunday night at 6 on SBS. Most car manufacturers use very complex electrical systems when building a luxury sedan. But at Nissan, we use multiplexing, a very clever computerized system that relies on 2 wires, which is not only a less complicated system, but one that's a lot more reliable. The all-new and very clever V6 Maxima. Just wait till you drive it.
Remember Aussie Sundays and how the chook was worth the wait. Red Rooster does, so they cook it right to make it Sunday every day.
Australia, your chicken is ready. Australia, ready right now. Australia, your chicken is ready. Red, red, ready, Red Rooster.
Australia's favourite chook.
And welcome back to the Sydney Entertainment Centre. It's half-time in match 4 of the 5-match series between the Boomers and the visiting Magic Johnson All-Stars. And the Australians are doing it tonight. They have a 15-point break on their illustrious visitors. Well, let's catch up with the great man, Magic Johnson, who, because of injury, of course, is not playing tonight, but he is the centre of attraction still here tonight. Let's hear from him about those early days with the Lakers.
Can you take us back to the early days of the Lakers, your rookie year, having to carry Kareem's bags? What was that?
Don't tell that secret. I think that most people didn't, and I think that's why the game has somehow changed too, because those rookies don't have to do all the things that we had to do. You know, Kareem was the, if you want to say, the big man on campus, or the legend, and rightfully so. So when I came in, I had to carry his bags everywhere. Not only carry his bags, but also they used to carry around a big projector because we had to watch the other team's film. So I had this big projector in one hand, had my bag over that, and then I got Kareem's bag. So I'm walking down the airports with all of these bags. Now, when we had to stop and wait on flights, now all my teammates would order hot dogs or hamburgers or something, and guess who had to go? I did. So I had to go get all these hot dogs and hamburgers and things, bring them back. But when I got back, you know they hid the projector and the balls. Now I got to look everywhere for the projector to try to find my bag, the projector, everything. And now they call, okay, it's boarding time now. And they haven't told me where I can find this projector. Now I'm responsible for it. So always at the last minute, somebody said, well, it's behind so-and-so, or it's on the plane already. And here I am sweating, you know, because I have to pay for this projector if I don't find it. But those are all the little things that a rookie back when I played had to go through. But didn't mind, because I just loved to be there. I was just loving the moment to carry Kareem's bag. I mean, I was calling home my dad, guess what? I'm carrying Kareem's bag around, you know. It was like an honor for me.
I guess it was a dream, your NBA rookie year. Yes. You made the playoffs, went to the grand final. You're leading Philadelphia 3-2. Mm-hmm. Tell us what happened next.
Well, Kareem gets hurt, and we go back to Philadelphia, and they said he couldn't play. So everybody had wrote us off. All the media, everybody. Everybody was saying, well, he'll be back game 7. So everybody just said, forget game 6. We're waiting on game 7. And in Philadelphia's mind, they were saying, no way that they're going to beat us, so we're not even worried about them tonight. So the coach said, you know, Irvin, I want you to play center. I was like, you want me to play center? He said, yeah. That's all right. So I told the guys, I said, never fear, because Magic is here. And they were like, what is this rookie talking about, you know? So we went out and we played a game of our life. I mean, the game that we had to play to win. Nobody could believe it was going on. I mean, we were playing so great. And we won the game, and I was voted MVP. And it just, from there on, my career just took off from there.
42 points.
Yes, well, the fact that he's played so many of those positions and playing centre in that game, that's why the man is so frustrated on the sideline at the moment, because one of the positions he hasn't played a lot of is bench coach, and he's playing that position here tonight. So the situation here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre, it's Australia with a 15-point break going into this third quarter, a situation that Australia's not found itself in all series. They've led in the first quarter in previous games, but not with a 15-point break at halftime. They've never had any kind of lead at halftime. Be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Magic has been able to make at halftime. It's almost like a prayer meeting going on there at the moment as they organise this thing so sincere. Let's see what he comes back with. John Long is obviously one of the starters. Mark Aguirre will be in the 5. Mike McGee comes back. Marcel Henry. And we'll wait for Lester Connor. Just decides he'll have to take off the track top too. He's going to get a game out here. So they've gone back to the starting 5. And Australia are starting with Scott Fisher and Stephen Whitehead for the third quarter. Bill Smythe back at the quarterback. Tony Ronaldson, Vlahov the starters, but the Magic Johnson All-Stars have first use of the basketball to try and cut into this 15-point break. All went a little bit awry for Australia there at the end of the second quarter when they could have taken a 20-point lead. Made a couple of mistakes there, and an indication just how quickly this team can come back. 5 points in about 40 seconds. And Marcel Henry can't get the opening basket of the third quarter. Let's see if the Aussies can. Smythe had a look at the odds up the court, decided the numbers weren't there, and pulled it back to place it 5-on-5. In goes Ronaldson. Pumps it up off the glass, but pumped it up a bit too hard. So again, a chance for Long to get into this lead. Long taking on Vlahov, but Vlahov's defense was too good. Scott Fisher's got the job on Mark Aguirre. John Long's shot goes over the top and finally reached in by Stephen Whitehead. So Whitehead playing in the two-pot spot for Australia and saw the penetration was there, makes a 2 and no basket, the referee said. Extra step from referee Roger Shields.
Barry Barnes cannot believe it.
And having a quick word to John Payne, he's got the smile on his face. In fact, remember we talked to the referees in Adelaide, John, and they talked about not calling so many travels in the game because they expected the Americans to have those 3- and 4-step takeoffs that we're so used to seeing in the NBA. I think that's what Barry Barnes was asking for.
Just inquiring whether or not everyone had been alerted to that fact. This is Connor. McGee. They need to find someone with a hot hand, the All-Stars. McGee tries his luck for 3.
Mike McGee hits for 3, and that's a 12-point basketball game. Remember, it was 20. So an 8-0 run here for the Magic Johnson All-Stars, and Australia hasn't been able to score since half-time.
This is Fisher.
Quickly this game can turn around.
Some heavy stuff under the basket. Whitehead doesn't like it. He and Marchell Henry go at it.
Now, they both had a go, and that was a situation. Referee John Payne has called the foul on Whitehead. They've both had a go, and he saw them both had a go. We've seen other referees say just call the game up, not call a foul, and have a chat to both of them. But Whitehead has been called for the second one, which is unfortunate.
In the centre of your picture there, you'll see them go at it.
Here it is, Whitehead coming through.
Boom.
There's the elbow up from Henry, so Whitehead goes back and has another go. And Australia gets the ball back as we come back live.
The All-Stars turn it over. I think that was the same elbow that Chris Blakemore ran into in Brisbane.
Scott Fisher left the three-pointer short. Whitehead underneath the hoop, fades away, cannot score it. And it falls for Lester Connor, and that was a dumb foul from Stephen Whitehead, when after the ball it was almost impossible to get. Obviously, he's come up with 2 quick ones.
Obviously frustrated there, Phil, because he was caught retaliating the first time, and that time obviously still feeling the effects from the earlier move. And he's going to sit down, and Pat Reidy will come in for him, and Barry Barnes will have a chat. A very steep learning curve here for the Boomers.
Patrick Reidy coming in to partner Phil Smythe in the backcourt for Australia, taking over on Lester Connor. Henry left with an open 3-point shot from out the front. Australia cannot afford to let them take that shot because they will make that at least every second time.
Reidy in charge inside to Ronaldson. Not a good pass, and Marcel Henry has snapped it up to McGee to Connor. This is where they're most dangerous. Long has the ball. He goes inside to Aguirre. 3. McGee hits again.
Great shot from Mike McGee. The Los Angeles Lakers from outside the circle have really trimmed this lead. Now it's back to 9. 53 plays 44. And Long got a piece of it. He's got Smythe to beat. He's too big for Phil Smythe, but not able to make the shot. Connor with the follow. Block from Scott Fisher. And good defense there from Fisher and Smythe, because firstly from Smythe, and secondly for the block from Fisher, and the fact that he stayed there. 3-point shot from Tony Ronaldson. That would have been very different. That's a 5-point swing on that play. The 2 points the Australians stopped at one end, the 3 points to Ronaldson at the other. Just what the Aussies needed at that time. That's not what they needed today. The open Lester Connor underneath. And it's back to 10. 56 plays 46.
They go inside to Vlahov. Can't make it go, but gets his own rebound. Sticks it again.
And the Americans asking for the travel, but referee Jeff Micallef has seen a foul. And the foul will go against 4-0 Michael McGee. Have a look at it again. There's McGee. Certainly got a good grab of the arm. No question of that. So Vlahov, the captain of the Australian team, steps up to the free throw line. They've really got to steady things here. They've let this lead get cut right down to 7. They've got it back to 10 right now. But remember, it was 20 just 40 seconds before half-time. Now they've come up to put some up-floor pressure on. Connor handles the ball so well in the backcourt, though. Reidy putting good pressure on. Smythe up on Marcel Henry. They just got over the timeline, but it paid off down floor because it was McGee. But credit the pressure up the floor that loosened that pass up that McGee wasn't able to handle. When you put full court pressure on like that, you're never sure where the result's going to come from. It might come from a quick shot that's taken at the wrong time. If you're patient with it, the press will work. Long bomb from Ronaldson. That was well outside the circle. That was out in NBA territory.
18 points for Tony Ronaldson.
So the steadier from Ronaldson. 18 points to Ronaldson. In fact, that's too many. It's 12. Thought I heard the court announcer say 18, but 12 according to our stats. Timeout's been called by Magic Johnson. And he's not too happy with Marcel Henry right now. There's the scoreline at the top, 60-46. And there's the huddle. Magic has seen them go on a roll. And he's watched Australia come back.
Well, any time a side has an unbeaten record, they never like giving it away, but that's the situation they are faced with here. They've cut the lead back to 14, 7:35 remaining here in the third quarter, but they are not playing as they did in the opening 3 games.
Let's hear Magic Johnson and hear him diagram the offense.
Let's hear it for the Hubbard.
Very softly spoken, Magic, and very, very calm in that situation right there. But he had big words with Marcel Henry as they came and took that time out. Wasn't happy with him at all. In fact, still having a chat to Henry as he gets him back onto the floor. He's got his problems. 14-point break, but we've seen this game swing around so much. Last night, they had a 29-point lead over Australia and ended up at a 2-point game. In fact, the scores were in Australia's favour, seconds from the end.
Absolutely outstanding finish to Game 3, and the Boomers have continued on with their good work here in Game 4. Aguirre draws a foul.
Good refereeing there from John Payne too, because he saw the contact, allowed Aguirre to take the shot. The shot missed, so he then said to Aguirre, "Okay, you missed the shot. Come up to the free throw line." Scott Fisher, who's done a very good job in this game, though. Defensively, he's done a super job. He has 11 points, he has 4 boards, and he's shooting 5 of 6 from the field.
Not bad for a guy who's still in pre-season training.
I think they'd be pretty well through pre-season training. They've got to be just about ready to play. And in fact, I was just thinking during this series that the players who play in this series are going to have a bit of a jump on their teammates when they come back to play in the NBL, because they're going to be very much match hardened with the competition they're getting this week. Look for these players to star in the opening weeks of the NBL. Well, no starring there from Tony Ronaldson. He had that shot shoved right down his throat, and John Long taken to the hoop over Bill's life at the other end. Haven't had the opportunity to run the break all that often, the Magic Johnson All-Stars in this game, because Australia's transition defence has been good, but that time it just fell down. Ronaldson, a hand in there from Marcel Henry. Stripped it off him. Good defence from Henry. Long trying to make it 2 in a row, that time from the perimeter. Now we're getting this running game again. In fact, this suited Australia in the second quarter. They outran them. See if they can sap some energy out of some of those older legs. Andrew Vlahov couldn't make it. Patrick Reidy couldn't make the stick back. Didn't look at the basket to take the shot. They could get it back inside. Single figures right here. Greg Hubbard preparing to come in for the Australian Boomers. We'll wait for a score here if one's going to happen. Aguirre spins on Fisher again, and Fisher got a hand on it. It fell to Henry. And open, Lester Connor underneath, but they foul him. Patrick Reidy with the foul, and Lester Connor will go to the free throw line.
That's his second personal.
Couple of changes here for the Boomers. Hubbard in for Smythe. The Sydney Kings teammates change, and Whitehead replaces Reidy.
And a changing of the guard.
And
Whitehead, who there's Hubbard on screen, who's done everything right in this game, really. He's hardly put a foot wrong. Lester Connor at the stripe, but Whitehead, who left just a few minutes ago after he racked up 2 fouls in a row, is back in the game. And he has the quickness that Barry Barnes needs out there right at the moment to run the floor. Pretty well balanced 5 they've got in there. Not particularly big, with Tony Ronaldson playing 6'8" in the centre. But you've got a good spread of 6'6"ers with Vlahov, Fisher and Stephen Whitehead.
Very interesting affair there between Mark Aguirre and Magic Johnson on the bench. This is Fisher. I'll get back to that. Shot won't go. Magic was going to introduce Patrick Eddy, and Aguirre said no, Irvin, no. They've got their tails up here. They've cut the lead to just 9, and here he is again, suggesting to Magic, perhaps let's just stick with this for the moment.
Very close friends, Magic and Mark Aguirre. Well, Aguire's testing the friendship when he asks the coach to leave him on there. Farmer's come in and taken out McGee. That's the change they've made. But Lester Connor at the stripe again. And that lead is down to 9, and Connor can make a further hole in it right here. This has been a good quarter so far for the Magic Johnson All-Stars.
Would have done nothing for Eddie's confidence either. He was ready to check back in, and Aguirre was saying no thanks, we'll go without you for the moment. So he went and sat back down.
Lester Connor makes them both off the stripe. They've been to the free throw line often, as they have right throughout the series. They're 16 of 19 from the free throw line. Australia's 5 of 5.
And the All-Stars on a 15-7 run since half-time. Ronaldson, yes, they needed that.
Ronaldson has come up with 2 big threes at very key times. He's put them away a couple of times. Every time they've inched close, it's Ronaldson who's come up with the 3 at the exact moment his coach has wanted it.
Sign of a quality player, and Tony Ronaldson is just that. Expect him to be on the plane to Atlanta for the Olympics. This is Aguirre working hard. It's all air. Connor and Aguirre wrestle with one another.
Aguirre into the stand. What a mess he's been making of someone. You wouldn't want to fall on your lunch, would he?
I would expect the St. John's people should get down there quickly. Mark Aguirre is a very big man.
We'll try and get someone down there that check just how many injuries in that box, because that is the man you don't want to see heading into your private box.
Here we go. He and Lester Connor both went after the ball, and Mark said, "Good evening, my name's Mark Aguirre, how are you?"
Tell you something else, apart from it being a little funny for those people down there, it indicates just how much Mark Aguirre wants this game. Now, he was the one who was arguing with Magic about coming off. He's showing Magic right there just how much he's putting into this game. Vlahov batted that one down, came off the fingertips of John Long, I think, and Hubbard took a gamble on it and let it go out over the sideline, and gambled the referee was going to see it the right way. Whitehead in the low post to Vlahov. Hubbard for 3. The Aussies, the inside-outside game. Now that sub's being made. We've got a right arm that's being held fairly gingerly at the moment, and people watching this game very closely, wondering whether someone else is going to head in there. Well, Aguire's out of there now.
They came to meet the All-Stars, and some have been lucky to get a close-up look.
Marcel Henry snakes it down the middle for 2 more.
And dangerous signs here for the Boomers. The lead is cut to 11. 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd term. They need to steady the ship.
Paul Rees in there for the Australians. Stephen Whitehead trying to penetrate it. And tough drop from Whitehead under some pretty good defensive pressure from Jim Farmer.
They've had the answers so far, the Boomers. But this All-Stars outfit are winners.
Marcel Henry, they came across the double team. That was Paul Rees trying to help out Stephen Whitehead. And the foul is called against Whitehead. That's number 4 on him. Now, we've still got a long way to go in this game. 15.5 minutes if Stephen Whitehead is going to remain there. Remember, we're playing the 6 foul count. Even though it's international basketball, it's using NBL rules. 4 12-minute quarters, 6 foul count. And again, they head for the free throw line with a pretty good result. Marcel Henry makes 1 of 2, but they're 18 or 17 of 21 from the free throw line. Still, the Boomers are 5 of 5. You can't give them that many opportunities. Whitehead looks for the long three. Not this time for Stephen Whitehead. Reefed in by Patrick Eddy. Away they come. The defence is there. Jim Farmer down the middle and finding on the outside into the hands of Long. And John Long can't make the two. Now the Australians can send it back the other way. Hubbard's on the right, but Vlahov wasn't able to handle the basketball.
And Magic telling them to come down quick, and Lester Connor does it for two.
The defence just opened up momentarily. That was all that Lester Connor needed. Took it straight down the hole for two.
Hubbard kicks it out to Whitehead. They sweep it back to Hubbard in the corner. Skipper has it now, calling the play. The low post to Ronaldson. Inside, Rees thought about the shot.
Good ball movement again from Australia. They moved the ball that many times. Sometime they're going to find the defence napping. They caught them again by throwing that one extra pass.
The Boomers giving the All-Stars some of their own medicine here. Jim Farmer went in.
Paul Rees helped out, but it left Eddie alone on the other side. Lucky to get away with that. Eddie wasn't able to make the shot.
And Rees and Eddie are having a pushing and shoving match down on the low post. But that is nothing new. We've seen it all through this series. Hubbard has it, 3-on-1. The pass to Vlahov wasn't good, but he pulled it in, shoots it across to Hubbard, who goes around Eddie, inside to Whitehead for two.
Good penetration there from Greg Hubbard to find Stephen Whitehead. He penetrated along the baseline, went into the air, and Whitehead was in exactly the right spot.
The lead is back out to 15. 1:30 remaining here in the third term. So the Boomers have done well. Eddie muscles his way in, draws the foul, and gets 2 points.
I think half the crowd might have been calling for a travel there. Might have been a fairly tough situation there for Paul Rees, because Eddie seemed to really shuffle the feet underneath him. Have a look at the hops. Have a look at his feet. It's in there. Well, he had an extra step there. Maybe might have even had an extra two. So tough situation there for Paul Rees. It's tough when you've got to cover the first, the second, and the third and the fourth step. So Rees puts Eddie at the free throw line.
Hasn't played a lot of minutes during the series, Patrick Eddy.
Yeah, it's been used in short bursts, but it's been used fairly effectively at times. It's been able to ignite the fast break by cleaning up the defensive boards. It's been his real strength.
This is Justin Withers, the new recruit for the Sydney Kings. To Whitehead. Ronaldson down low. Rees. Good defence here from the All-Stars at the moment. They go to Ronaldson, who goes behind his man Marcell Henry, has 2 points and draws the foul.
Perfect pass and perfect execution there from the big man, the man they call the Bear, Tony Ronaldson. He had the left arm up protecting the ball and kissed it up off the glass with the right.
Had a big impact on Game 3, Tony Ronaldson, at his home court at the National Tennis Centre in Melbourne. Collected 18 points on that occasion and is up to 23 here tonight.
Yes, he's outstripped all the scorers. Scott Fisher is next with 11.
Good defensive pressure from the Boomers. They get the ball into Henry, though, who is fouled by Paul Rees.
And Henry went hard for the hoop that time. There was not much more that Paul Rees could do. He saw his body flying at it. Marcell Henry's worked his way to 9 points. They've got two players in double figures, Lester Connor with 14 and Mark Aguirre with 10. And Henry will join them in the double figure count on this play.
Exciting proposition, Marcell Henry.
And he's been given the opportunity tonight by Magic Johnson to come into the 5 in Magic's place. But right now they're looking down the barrel of some problems. Question of how Australia play this 50 seconds before three-quarter time. Let's hope they can do it for their sakes better than they did. Well, they've lost the ball again in the first half. Is the final 50 seconds. Well, the referee let things go there. Jim Farmer had a bit of a push-off. Tough situation the referee was presented with right there, because Farmer was dribbling the ball with his left hand and pushed off with his right. Have a look at it. He had the left hand there. You can see it from here in front, pushing the defense out of the way. Didn't make the shot. Well refereed, I think, in the end, with holding the whistle. We come back live, and it's the Magic Johnson All-Stars with the ball. 32 seconds left for three-quarter time, but 22 seconds left on the shot clock. Australia will get the ball back. Farmer, penetration, bounces off the paint and can't make it. Paul Reeves with a big rebound, but they stripped him again. But it will be an Australian ball with 18 seconds left. Australia should get the last shot. They're up by 13 points. Remember, they took a 15-point break into this third quarter. They could square it up right now on this play. Play a quarter with no harm done. And then be hard to stop in the final quarter. Using up the clock. 3 seconds left as they get the shot off, but not in. Into the hands of Paul Rees, and that will not count. Referee Mikolev said it was after the hooter. So in three-quarters time, Australia's in pretty good shape. Up by 13 points in Game 4 of the series against the Magic Johnson All-Stars. The scoreline, Australia 76. The Magic Johnson All-Stars 63.
It breeds sin. Sin. And dancing, it breeds evil. Evil.
Of course, I could be wrong about the dancing.
On Vox Populi this week, vaccinating our children, is it worth the risk?
The medical opinion is that it's important for children to be vaccinated.
Every child who gets vaccinated is immediately exposed to danger.
And the Australia Council doing its bit for undervalued translators.
So it is a recognition that the translation is as much a work of the imagination in its way as the original piece was.
That's Vox Populi, Sunday night, SBS.
On Monday, the start of a three-part series celebrating the work of the late veterinary surgeon, Dr. Barclay Hastings, and his efforts to raise wildlife welfare and awareness around the world. We follow him to Whipsnade Zoo in England, where he invited 4 young vets from various countries to train with him and learn the skills they'll need to help preserve their own country's wildlife. Vets in the Wild starts Monday at 7:30 on SBS. 9:30 Thursday, Maurizio Nicchetti's award-winning comedy, Volere Volare.
Caduta passante, 12ª.
A romance with a difference. An integration of animation and real life in an offbeat fable for adults in the style of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Your movie of the week, Volere Volare, 9:30 Thursday on SBS.
To you live from the Sydney Entertainment Centre, where this Australian Boomers team can, I guess, make themselves a little bit of history, but perhaps a bit of coloured history, I suppose. If they can beat the Magic Johnson All-Stars, it'll be the first time ever the team has been defeated. But I guess you've got to take into account the Magic Man isn't playing, John Casey.
Yes, I guess that does take the shine off the victory to some extent. But you have to be very impressed with the way the Boomers have played. I think it's fair to say that they have improved every game they've turned out here during the series. And given the way that they finished in Game 3, the way that they played here in Game 4, it's just a shame that they couldn't have stolen that game on the buzzer in Melbourne. Perhaps would have won here, then went to Perth and maybe won the series.
Yes, but they're, I guess, a long way from winning here tonight. 76 plays 63 as we enter the final quarter. And it's the Magic Johnson All-Stars with the first touch in the final quarter. What you've got to be impressed by, though, is the Australians' defence holding this team to 63 points in 3 quarters of basketball. That's been the highlight for me. They've really worked well in that area. Now, Aguirre will go to work in this final term, no doubt. Here's a winner. Lester Connor at the other side couldn't do it, but Aguirre, give me that basketball, and makes it.
He is tough, Mark Aguirre, averaging 26 points for the series. He's down on that here tonight with just 12. But watch him fire up here in the final quarter as the All-Stars try and protect that unbeaten record of 37-0.
Open for Fisher, but decide to take Aguirre along the baseline. They get a good dump pass on there to Justin Withers, who makes the 2. Still a 13-point game. And here Magic Johnson calling from the sideline, don't switch on that play. Well, it's tough not to when you're caught in that situation. Aguirre off the paint again, but Justin Withers reaps in the rebound. The Aussies off and running. They've got a 5-on-4 here. But now the numbers stack up with Aguirre joining the action. 3-point shot from Withers. Couldn't make it. Not a real gap in the score if he had of.
This is long. Quick hands to McGee. Yes.
There's the difference in this one at one end, and they come back and score one at the other. 6-point turnaround. 78 plays 68. Now the Australians hold it up. Just try and get a regulation basket out of this. Oh, stripped to the ball. Lester Connor strips Greg Hubbard and fouls Connor. Couldn't make the layup though. Greg Hubbard just mad at himself for losing that basketball. He's put Connor at the line at the other end. And again, we could find a single-figure game coming up here. There's the steal. Lester Connor is so quick. Remember in game one, he just went straight to Brett Maher and pinched the ball off him twice in the opening couple of minutes and left Brett Maher just wondering where he came from. Well, this is the first time that Greg Hubbard has been able to face up against him. Gave him an idea of his quickness. Not making anything off the free throw line, though. Connor's been good from there. He hit 8 of 10.
Is playing his best game of the series so far, and Greg Hubbard needn't feel too disappointed because not only Brett Maher and Greg Hubbard, but certainly others have also had their pockets picked by Lester Connor. He has very quick hands.
9-point game after 2 minutes of the final quarter. Dangerous time right here for the Australians. They have to steady the ship, get themselves a basket at least every second time down the floor. Scott Fisher got one for them. It's out to 11. Some urgency right there as McGee took it to the hoop and they lost it. It was a good block from Paul Rees, but they couldn't get the ball away and got lucky on that one because they got the ball back. Andrew Vlahov, the captain, will come back. Smythe dumps it off there, but dumps it off to the wrong man. Hubbard threw himself at that one just to save it and save it out of court. Desperation there from Greg Hubbard, the Sydney Kings guard. Magic and this role of coaching from the sideline and finding it difficult, I would think. When you've played as many years as he has and have to go and be a sideline coach, it can be tough.
Aguirre spins on Rees and scores.
Back to 9. Substitutions coming. Paul Rees will come out. Tony Ronaldson in. Andrew Vlahov coming in for Justin Withers. And Aguirre, he can really have an effect in this final quarter. Kept to 10 points in the first 3 quarters. There's 14 right now.
The Boomers will be looking for Tony Ronaldson to have an impact here as well. Shot 11 points in the 3rd turn.
Another turnover from the Australians. They've turned the ball over 19 times now to the Magic Johnson All-Stars 11. It's the only stat that really doesn't favour them.
And is 19 is too high for what Barry Barnes would have hoped, Phil.
Yeah, he'd like to keep it under 10.5 at least. We've still got a long way to go in the game. Almost a turnover there by Eaton. Reach around the back from Greg Hubbard, but Eaton staying with it and dumping it outside the 3-point line. Oh, that was a tough basket coming from Mike McGee under all sorts of pressure. Firstly, to make the catch, and secondly, to get the shot in.
15 points for the game.
Got a foul against the Magic Johnson All-Stars.
Pushing.
I reckon if this gets any closer, if Magic Johnson All-Stars to score the next basket without Australia. So it'll be Barry Barnes going for that timeout button in a hurry to try and put a stop to this. 13-point lead at three-quarter time. Fisher has done well, but not able to make that one. Connor down the middle, dump off to Markham. The timeout's got to come fairly soon. There it is. Barry Barnes has called it. We've got a 4-point ball game, and Mark Aguirre making his way to 16 points. Remember, he had 10 at three-quarter time, and Big Daddy, as they call him on this team, starting to make his presence felt out there, and the Australians have to make some adjustments right here.
The All-Stars are on a 15-4 run here in the final term. We see them how quick their transition is. Lester Connor releases Aguirre, who doesn't miss from that range.
Well, Mark Aguirre, who really, I mean, the man is 36 years old, looks like a slug out there, the way he moves. I mean, he seems to be a good, well, dozen kilos overweight, and filled in on the fast break there and covered the court as well as anybody. So he's got some desire. He's running on pure desire there, right there.
But I don't want you to form.
Told me a little earlier that it was a big singlet.
Very big singlet. There's some big hearts beating inside those singlets. They'll need to be big to carry this team over this final hump.
Back in, or we're going to spot up, or reversing, we're going to be open, all right? Stay positive in what we're doing, all right? Come on, let's go. Come on, guys. Come on, come on.
Well, that's the final message, of course. They've got to stay positive in a game like this. Once they feel that the other team is starting to get to them, it's very much a mind game, basketball at times. Game of momentum swings. And right now the momentum is swinging very much in favour of the touring All-Stars.
Certainly has been a great series for Barry Barnes and the Boomers. They try a quick play. Here's Fisher for two. And the All-Stars don't like it. They weren't ready, but it counts. Here's Aguirre for three. Yes!
What a player the man is, Mark Aguirre. He's really come to play in this final term. And that is the sign of an old pro, Mark Aguirre. They will go to him as often as they can because he's got winning on his mind. He knows how to do it, as well as the desire.
We've played less than 5 minutes here in the final quarter, and Aguirre has 11 points for the term.
Didn't fall there for Andrew Vlahov, but he will go to the free throw line. One of the very few times for the Australians in the game. I mentioned the free throw stat earlier. The Australians are 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Their opponents are 21 of 26. Of big free throws here for the Australian captain. He's been very, very solid all week, but not too much in the scoring action here tonight. Just 6 points for Andrew Vlahov, where he's been the highest scorer for Australia during the series.
Does have 4 assists and 5 boards, though. Still very effective. Aguirre wants the ball again. Doesn't get the roll. Whitehead comes up with it, gives it to Hubbard, and they are away.
Plenty of desire there from Stephen Whitehead to get hold of that ball, but you can see where they're going. They went to Aguirre again, and you can see Mike McGee starting to lift the tempo as well, both offensively and defensively. John Long tried to get a hand in there for Vlahov. Nothing there for Andrew Vlahov. In fact, there's a foul for him as he went over the top and hit McGee. Thank you. Mike McGee came out of that limping a little. Didn't do him a whole lot of good, but he is okay. Watch them crank it up right here. As Connor has Aguirre top right. Used him for the screen. Defense is good from the Australians. They doubled. Someone's got to be open, and they always find him. It's John Long in the corner. Long hits the two off the baseline. The efficiency of their offense at times is just what you expected to see from a team of this caliber. 3-point game now, 84-81. Australia led it by 15 at the half, but that'll do them a whole lot of good. Well worked out play between Vlahov and Fisher.
That's what they need more of. What a finish we've got looming here. If it's as good as game 3, well, stick around.
Hubbard there caught by the quickness of Connor on the baseline. It's only the 13th foul, though, against it's the 4th personal against Greg Hubbard. So he's starting to creep up there. I wonder which guard's going to finish it off. Possibly Phil Smythe. Hubbard will play out the next few minutes, I would think. Shift of the ball to Mike McGee. Inside they go, and they always find a way to score. That time it was Lester Connor. When it comes down to the clutch, they find their ways. They can look a little shaky in the middle, but you've got to think they're looking pretty good right now. Undefeated in 37 games, and we've got a foul on Mark Aguirre. Gave Andrew Vlahov a hit, and Mark Aguirre complaining. Look at that. Have a look at it again, see what happened. Good push and shove under here. Plenty of it. And it seemed to be Aguirre the aggressor all the way. Screen coming from Ronaldson to try and free up Hubbard, and they find Vlahov on the other side. So the Aussies put this through plenty of sets of hands. Fisher going to take the one-on-one against Aguirre. Putting the spin on him. Off the baseline, Greg Hubbard, and an air ball right over the top under plenty of pressure. 3-point ball game.
And Magic dictating there to slow it down and wait for Aguirre. And now he's with the ball. They trail by 3.
Mike McGee for 3 and cannot tie the basketball game, but Connor saves it for the All-Stars, but only as far as Vlahov.
Well, the Boomers needed that and need to score here. Fisher, yes.
Well taken, Scott Fisher. He might have been a little hesitant on that, but he got there to the free throw line. They didn't come to him. He had to take it.
White ball.
Magic Johnson wanted timeout right there, but the referees wouldn't award it. Connor along the baseline.
He's lost it.
They've lost it twice in a row, so Australia have made consecutive stops.
And need to play smart here.
Question now whether they can make consecutive baskets. They've brought up that double high post again. 2 postmen come out while we run some action underneath. 3-point shot for Scott Fisher that wouldn't roll for him. Now they're given their timeout, got the basketball and got the attention of the referee. Under 4 minutes to go. What a finish we've got coming up right here. 83-88. The Magic Johnson All-Stars have trailed right throughout this game. They have not been in the lead at one moment. They were down by 9 at the end of the first quarter, 15 at halftime and 13 after 3 quarters. Well, it's back to 5 now and just 4 to go.
And apart from game 1 in Adelaide, where the All-Stars blew it out to 40-28 at quarter time and went on to win by 15, the other 3 games have been very tight. We went to Brisbane and scores were level during the final quarter. We went to Melbourne after that, and the Boomers took the lead with 30 seconds remaining. And here we are, just a tick under 4 minutes remaining in the final quarter, and it is anybody's ball game.
Right now, both coaches will be looking for the 5 that they want to finish out this game. They want 5 players probably to play out the last 4 minutes, so you get an idea of which players the coach favours, and he gets the 5s onto the floor right here. Assistant coach of the Boomers, Alan Black, the Illawarra coach, been promoted to the position. Have a listen to Barry Barnes. A bit difficult to hear all that din. With a wave going around here. Pretty good spirits this crowd here, John, at the entertainment centre, despite the fact that Magic Johnson's not playing.
Yes, no doubt they are disappointed that the Magic Man doesn't take the court here, but they do love their basketball here in Sydney. They've had so much success here at the entertainment centre with the Kings, regularly sold out, and this year they are anticipating that they can go all the way. Admittedly, we have heard that before from Sydney, but the Kings have recruited well. They have Bruce Bolden from South East Melbourne Magic, Phil Smythe from the 36ers, and Justin Withers from the Cannons. But right now, this game is where all the interest is. Marcel Henry
up against Tony Ronaldson. That falls for Scott Fisher. So the Australians going down the stretch here with Hubbard and Whitehead in the backcourt. They've got Ronaldson, Fisher and Vlahov up front.
Very good experience gathering here by the Boomers to be in this situation against a tough team and see if they can hold on. It's a great preparation for the Atlanta Olympics, and that's the reason behind this entire thing.
Scott Fisher with a clutch basket for the Australians. 90 points to 83, puts a 7-point gap in the game. Oh, that was a big basket. Fisher's come up with some tonight, and he hasn't done his chances any harm at all on this team. 21 points to Fisher. And he's got 10 of those in this final quarter.
Just loves pressure, Scott Fisher. He loves to perform in big games. As I mentioned earlier, twice an NBL Player of the Year, 6 times in the All-Star 5. Is all class.
Won championships in a couple of places too, hasn't he, with the Perth Wildcats and the North Melbourne Giants, so he's a winner. And Mark Aguirre after a Scott Fisher foul at the free throw line.
Well, the crowd come to life here. We have 3 minutes remaining. This will cut it to 5. No.
And interestingly, they're cheering, I think, if I hear it right, against the Australian team. Do I hear a magic call coming up? Phil Smythe getting ready to come in. Will probably take out Greg Hubbard. Whitehead with McGee on him. They go into Vlahov, and that is a turnover.
And it was that man, Aguirre, again, who came up with the smart hands.
2 3/4 minutes remaining. Magic Johnson doing the work from the side. Barry Barnes is walking the sideline at the other end.
Here's Long. Expect to see Aguirre involved. He is now. Fisher behind him. He turns and shoots. It's short. Vlahov, a huge rebound.
You've got to like Scott Fisher's game at the moment. He's been popped the question on defence, and at the other end he's been called on to score the points.
And he's with the ball now. This is Whitehead. 2:10 remaining in the game. The Boomers by 6.
Getting awfully tough to make a cut inside there. There's bodies checking the cutters all the way through. This is tough basketball, just what the Boomers need in preparation. Ronaldson can't make the 3, but Vlahov gets it back.
And they'll slow it down, take some more time off the clock. A new shot clock. Vlahov has it.
And timeout called by the Australian Boomers. Good timeout called by Coach Barry Barnes, because they'll have the ball back with 1 minute 51 seconds left on the game clock and 22 seconds left on the shot clock. I'm sure he'll be talking in this timeout about trying to reduce this game down to about 3 possessions or 3 or 4 possessions. And of course, with Australia in the lead by 6 points, that's not a bad position to be in as long as you don't turn the ball over.
They're going to have some trouble getting through to their players here as the crowd comes alive. A sellout here at the Entertainment Centre in Sydney. A tick over 10,000, and they have been enthralled by this match.
Yes, they've been entertained all night, and those kids love it. And of course, just seeing Magic Johnson, just being in the same building, I mean, it's, and the man has almost pop star status, I suppose. But he's come to pop the question to his players at the moment and ask them how much they want to win this game. Well, right now he's diagramming it for them, how much they'd like to win this game. He's got the players out there who can shoot the ball. He's got the players who can put it in their hands. It's just a question of making the shot, but they are clutch players. I've spoken before about how many winners he has on this team. They know how to win. Well, he's got people like John Long, the former Detroit Piston, Mike McGee, the former Los Angeles Laker, Lester Connor, who's played with 5 NBA clubs. Had a big season in '88 with the New Jersey Nets. He's got Marcel Henry out there as well. And Mark Aguirre, the Big Daddy, is just an out-and-out superstar. Has won a couple of championships rings with Detroit. So look for Aguirre to be the go-to man as we come down the stretch.
Some confusion here in front of us. Barry Barnes, the Boomers coach.
I think Barry has run out of timeouts. I think they're only allowing 2 timeouts a half, not the 5 per game that you get in the National Basketball League. I think Barry was a little confused about that. They probably didn't even talk about that before the game.
Vital possession here for the Boomers. 11-10. There you hear the shot clock warning buzzer.
It's absolutely imperative they get a shot off. Is it going to be Stephen Whitehead, who was a star last night? Not this time. Mark Aguirre gets it away. Look for a quick hit here, and a hand in the way from Scott Fisher. Did very well to get back there and stop that, but that wasn't good enough for Fisher because he places such high demands on himself. He wanted to make the steal.
Lester Connor with outstanding foot speed down the court to get into a scoring position, and Fisher matched him and just did enough to deny them the ball. This is Henry.
Good defense there from the Aussies to hold them up in the backcourt. The clock comes down to 10 seconds.
Here's the money man.
Mark Aguirre hits for 3 and gets that to a 3-point ball game. 90 points to 87.
1 minute remaining.
What a finish. Australia almost has to score on this play. Even though they're leading by 3, they really have to score or they'll put some pressure on themselves at the other end.
Smythe is free.
Bill Smythe, it doesn't fall. Now the big play coming up. 1 more possession to go for Australia at least.
Magic Johnson.
They need a basket. Oh! From way downtown to tie the ball game up at 90 points apiece. What a star he is. And a big play coming up here for Australia. They have the basketball. The scores are locked together. You can see the time remaining. Plumb this clock down. Who's going to take the shot with about 5 seconds to go? They do not want to give this ball back to the opposing team.
Here's Vlahov, the skipper. He's fouled.
No, he wasn't. Underneath. We're going into overtime right here. 90 points apiece, and we're headed for overtime in Game 4 here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Have a look at Magic on the sideline. Well, what a game this has been. Australia led by 9 at the end of the first quarter, 15 after half-time, 13 after 3 quarters, and it's locked together at 90 points apiece at the end of regulation time.
Well, what can you say about Mark Aguirre? There he is in your picture. He has single-handedly saved the All-Stars from their first ever defeat. He has been in outstanding form right throughout this series when he kicked off Game 1 with a game-high 32. But what a prayer. He was off balance, well outside the 3-point range, and it was all net.
Call it a prayer, but I mean, that man has shot that shot so many times in his life. He would have been feeling that was going to go in for him. 18 points he had in the final quarter. 28 points for the game, but 18 of those coming in the last 12 minutes. He's the high scorer for the game with 28. Lester Connor has 17 for the Australians. Tony Ronaldson with 26. And Ronaldson added just 3 points in that final quarter, but Scott Fisher had a big quarter, added 10, and he has 21 for the game. So the score here, 90 points apiece, overtime coming up. We'll take a break and come back with all the action from the Sydney Entertainment Centre.
The men's team alive tonight, Mark Aguirre with 28 points. Minus 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Do it again! Do you remember Aussie Sundays and how the chook was worth the wait? Red Rooster does, so they cook it right to make it Sunday every day.
Australia, your chicken is ready. Australia, ready right now. Australia, your chicken is ready. Red Rooster.
Australia's favourite chook.
To celebrate the Magic Johnson All-Stars Down Under Tour, SBS offers you the chance to win one of 20 Magic Johnson prize packs. All you have to do is tell us Magic Johnson's number. You could win an NBA Jam Session board game from Hunter Sportsline and a Spalding basketball personally autographed by Magic Johnson, together with the official tour merchandise including a cap, t-shirt and program. So call us on 0055 60209.
Strap yourself into your seat and buckle that seatbelt. We've got a barnstorm of a finish coming up. You might have seen the mini finish that locked the scores together at 90 points apiece. But we're headed for overtime here. And interestingly enough, the feeling in the crowd here, you kind of get the feeling that they're evenly divided. There's half of the building wants the Magic Johnson All-Stars to win this game and half the Australians. I can't think of too many other sports where that sort of thing happens, where you don't have the whole place behind the Australians. But we've got it here, indication of the esteem that Magic Johnson is held in, and he's not even playing in the game. Underneath they go to Whitehead. Tough basket to try and make, but he made it with the reverse to Stephen Whitehead to start the overtime period in Australia's favour.
Well, what a match we're having here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. That was a great move from Whitehead to pinch a two-point break, 92 to 90. Aguirre's turned it over, does not like it, and Fisher extends the lead to 4.
Just lays it over the front of the hoop. No theatrics with the dunk. Just gets it done very efficiently. And Scott Fisher, a huge final quarter he had, and carrying it on right here. Connor backing in Smythe, and the quick hands of Smythe talked him out of the shot. That shot doesn't go. Fisher running it down. He's off and running. Marchell Henry not able to save it at the sideline. So Australia with the ball again. This is a great start to the overtime period for them. Forced a couple of turnovers and grabbed the only points in the period. 5 minutes of overtime to be played. We're down to 4 minutes now. Ronaldson trying to work against Aguirre underneath. Now to set the screen to try and get rid of McGee. Scott Fisher down the middle, off the free throw line. Can't get it to roll. And we've got a push in the back. It's against the Australians. I think it's against Andrew Vlahov. Yeah, 4 fouls to Andrew Vlahov. But it is only the 4th team foul against Australia. Now, in fact, it's now put up as the 5th. So we come back to the other end, and it'll be Marcel Henry to shoot a pair of free throws. A little slow on the board. They've put the 5th team foul up right now, but there's Marcel Henry's stats, and that's probably the most important thing he's done out of all those stats, making that shot right there. He's 7 of 8 from the free throw line, Henry, and now the defense is extended down. Connor to put some pressure on Smythe. But Smythe has played the best guards all around the basketball world, 36 years of age, and still doing it.
John Long guarding Scott Fisher, doing a good job on him. He goes to Whitehead. Ronaldson charges to the basket.
Tough defense there as Connor runs it down to take on Andrew Vlahov over the top, and the charge call. Good defense there from Vlahov. He really had him lined up straight down the middle and kept his position well. Stayed straight up, didn't move to the side at all. Big play from Vlahov to get the ball back.
Well, I think you can gauge who the crowd here are cheering for. They didn't like the call, the offensive foul on Lester Connor. Magic certainly didn't like it. The Boomers have a 2-point buffer, 3 minutes remaining in overtime.
Looking straight down the barrel of that call. I'm sure the referee got it 100% right. Now Smythe to run things, and he wouldn't want anyone else running it. Whitehead not able to make the shot as Aguirre pulls in the rebound. He thought one of the Aussies had pushed him in the back, but it was a teammate, John Long. But now it's with Lester Connor to run the show right here. 2-point basketball game. Tight as you'd like. 2.5 minutes to go. Aguirre to work against Fisher. And Mark Aguirre takes him on, and it doesn't get the roll. He'll go to the free throw line, though. On the help out from Tony Ronaldson. Have a look at it again. Aguirre going to work on Fisher. He's not really quite that quick, but looked very good anyway in replay. So Mark Aguirre, the man who brought the team right back into this with a huge 18-point final quarter. He's an incredible player. I'd love to have seen him at his absolute peak. But even with a little bit of extra poundage on, he is still a great player. 94 to 94. 2.5 to go. One of the great all-time finishes to an Australian basketball game. Remember, this team they're playing has not been beaten in 37 games. And Tony Ronaldson was slung to the floor there by Marcel Henry. Smythe tried to take Lester Connor on the handoff to Stephen Whitehead. Takes it to the hole, off the glass, but doesn't fall. Aguirre again for the rebound. Sends John Long away, but the transition defense was there from Smythe and Fisher.
Well, Aguirre is outstanding. He's doing it at both ends of the court. Comes up with a rebound, goes to three again. This time he can't
the shot and gets it back. How many opportunities can you give that guy? 94 points apiece. Remember, we had a 2-point game last night. 15 points separated the teams in game 1, 7 in game 2, 2 in game 3, and here we are in overtime in game number 4. Oh, Marcel Henry's great pass there to Vlahov. Looked all too easy. A 2-point lead right now to the Magic Johnson All-Stars, and it's the first time tonight that they've led the basketball game.
So the Boomers,
after 52 minutes, 3-point shot from Vlahov. It doesn't go. They surround Marcel Henry. That will be a white ball from the back. Magic wants timeout, and he's got it. They've got to be in pretty good shape right here, and he knows it. They've got the basketball. 63 seconds to go, and he leads it by 2. There's that last shot. And Marcel Henry was surrounded there. They got hands on the ball, but tipped it out over the end line. So you've got to like the position the Magic Johnson All-Stars are in right here. If they can make a basket this time down the floor, they're going to be very, very hard to beat. You can just feel, John, that they've lifted their defense in the last couple of minutes. They've really cranked it up a notch.
Well, I think you said it at the start of the show here, Bill, that this side, if it gets close, are always going to be hard to beat. They're a team of winners, and they've done it all through the NBA. They've done it through some 15 countries on this 37-0 run that they've been on. And when it comes to the crunch time, they usually come up with the goods.
How tired has Mark Aguirre got to be? He's played nearly all the game. And remember, this is the 4th game, and it's been a series that has gone up and down the country. We started in Adelaide, went to Brisbane, followed by Melbourne, then Sydney. And you've got to be feeling a little bit weary if you're Mark Aguirre, particularly when you're putting the sort of effort that he is at the moment.
32 points in game 1, 22 in game 2, 24 in game 3. He sits with 30 at the moment and has really had an impact, to say the least.
Whatever Magic diagrams for them, I think Mark Aguirre would say, just give me the ball. I'll get it done.
And I think his teammates know that as well. Oh, they put on a great show here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Both sides, it's been an outstanding contest. The All-Stars trailed by 13 coming into the final quarter. Tied it up at 90 apiece.
What a big play right here. The question is really being popped at the Australian defence. Who's it going to be? Whose hands does it go into?
Here's Aguirre. Fisher works hard on him. He shoots over the top. It's short.
Whitehead drags the big board down now. 40 seconds left in the ball game, so Australia will have to give the ball back.
Hubbard.
Firstly, they have to
for
score.
3. No.
For Greg Hubbard. The ball belongs to the Magic Johnson All-Stars, and that could be the ball game. Very difficult to see this team. They are very efficient giving the ball up right here.
2-second differential on the shot clock and the game clock.
Stephen Whitehead was under instructions in making that foul right there, in fouling Marchell Henry. He's put him at the free throw line, and 5th foul for Stephen Whitehead.
Henry, 7 of 8 from the stripe. Not the man you want to foul.
Well, it's a question of who you want to foul out there. I mean, Lester Connors 9 of 11, Mark Aguirre's 9 of 12. You just have to gamble with the others. Well, the gamble came off. He's missed the first, but he does get a second. Now, this could put them 3 points in front if he makes it. And the Aussies come back needing a 3 to tie it.
With 15 seconds to go.
3-point ball game.
Now they have outside shooters in. Hubbard, of course, Whitehead. Timeout, says the skipper, Andrew Vlahov. It's 3 points the difference. Just 12 seconds remaining in overtime. The All-Stars lead it.
Well, Barry Barnes has to come up with a play right here to take them through the final 12 seconds and get the ball into the hands of a 3-point shooter. Cannot afford it to. Let's hear what he has to say.
All right. Coffee bean in. Okay? And we'll just go straight in here. Okay? Now they'll try and double on, they'll try and probably double on you. All right? So maybe 6, look at some, release, make it release. Okay? Now what we're going to do now, Stephen, over here, we're going to run, and Hop's going to come in, he's going to come straight down here, bring you around, all right? Same as last night. Now, if you don't get it, Hop's you're going to get the ball back, take it on this side, okay? Now, curl it, Stephen, curl it. Chris, step in, do that. Tony, step. All right?
Now that is exactly the same play they tried to run at the end of last night's game, and with 7 seconds to go, and we saw Stephen Whitehead not able to, where he said curl around the top there. Stephen Whitehead curled all right, wasn't able to make the catch, and they turned the ball over. Talking to Barry Barnes before the game, he said they went through that play a number of times today and made a lot of refinements on it. Now let's see how they can run it right here, because they've got 12 seconds left. The classic finish. They needed 3 to tie the ball game up to take it into another overtime period.
And the All-Stars rushing out onto court after being caught last time when the Boomers scored an easy 2. 10 seconds remaining. Fisher with the ball, trying to get it to Hubbard. Here's Vlahov. Turns, the three-pointer is
and doesn't quite make it. That will be the end of the ball game. The Magic Johnson All-Stars maintain their undefeated record, and they go to 38-0. That's all she wrote. They've won this game by just 3 points. Mike McGee hugs his coach, Magic Johnson. And what a classic finish after a period of overtime. The Magic Johnson All-Stars 97 have beaten Australia 94.
Mark Aguirre with 30. And Henry followed by 16. With the movers, Ronaldson finished up with 24.
Well, a terrific finish to the basketball game. We'll take your sideline to Les Murray. We won't take you to Les Murray right now. In fact, we'll look at some of the match statistics and have a look at the way. The important stat is right at the top. 97-94 is the scoreline. But Australia outshot the All-Stars 42% to 37. The free throw line, well, 100% to 79 doesn't tell you much, because Australia only went 8 from 8. The Magic Johnson All-Stars went 27 from 34. The three-point stat changed around a lot from half-time that we showed you, and that's where they cranked it up in that final quarter. Rebound count to enter Australia. Turnovers, a few too many for the Aussies right there, and they threw a few assists. But so the big starters at the top, 97-94, as we take your sideline once again to Les Murray.
Thank you, Phil, and that's the end of a night of nights here at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. Match 4 in the series, and of course match 5 is still to be played. That will be played at the Perth Entertainment Centre on Tuesday, and SBS will give you a full coverage from 11 p.m. that night. Eat Carpet, our program due to have begun a few minutes ago, follows next. But for the moment, from the Sydney Entertainment Centre, thank you for joining us. Good night.
Wow.
which means relief for thousands of fans. Johnson's all-star team will meet the Boomers at the Entertainment Centre tonight. It should be a magic night.
I didn't come here to sit on the bench. I came here to play.
And play he will. Sidelined by a calf injury in Melbourne, Johnson has made a magical recovery and is looking forward to taking the court.
I mean, you rate right up there, one of the best, no question about it. It's been our best competition so far, by far.
For the All-Stars, the tour has been pure enjoyment. For Andrew Vlahov and the Boomers, it's been a test, one they've passed with flying colours.
He's a great player. One day I hope he'll be in our league.
Johnson is officially retired as a player, but basketball has turned into big business.
One of my companies, we just got $50 million to develop malls and retail centers, the Magic Johnson theaters. I'm with Sony.
Then there's that bet with Michael Jordan. If Jordan returned to basketball...
Positive, but he's now touring the world with his own all-star troupe, taking on the Australian Boomers this month. Tonight at the Entertainment Centre, Magic's men trying to make it a clean sweep in the best-of-5 series. But this morning, a scare for fans, a sore calf causing Magic to temporarily withdraw.
I'm disappointed, no question about it. I didn't come here to sit on the bench. I came here to play. I've been working out for months to get ready for this, and you know, Mother Nature just took over.
But just hours later, doctors told Magic he could play, and what's more, he's vowed to return next year to help the Australian Boomers prepare for the Atlanta Games.
I think they want the competition, they want the games, which is important. So I think that's the way we're going to help them, and if they need anything else, you know, they can ask me, and we're here.
What could be better than some magic from the man himself?
32-year-old today made his long-awaited return to the Chicago Bulls against the Indiana Pacers. And although he didn't set the world on fire, it didn't matter.
Carolina, number 45, Michael Jordan.
And with those words, the most famous sportsman in the world, Michael Jordan, was back in action in the NBA. And didn't the fans love it?
Most of all, I want to see his moves and his tongue. I want the tongue, baby.
I don't know why he's not taking his number 23 back.
A 17,000-strong crowd packed out the Indiana Stadium, while every bar in Chicago was also crammed, as his airness strutted his stuff on the court. In fact, so big was Jordan's comeback, the game was delayed 23 minutes so it could be shown live on American television. Jordan played a total of 43 minutes, shooting 19 points and compiling 6 assists, 6 rebounds and 3 steals. However, it wasn't quite enough, with the Bulls losing in overtime, 103-96.
When you love something for so long, I mean, when you try to walk away from it, I think at the time that I walked away from it, I probably needed it, you know, mentally more so than anything, but I really, truly missed the game, and I missed my friends. You know, certainly I missed my teammates, and I missed the atmosphere a little bit, and you know, so I was eager to get back into the rim of things.
Jordan's next game is on Wednesday against Boston, and then on Friday it's back home to take on Shaquille O'Neal's Orlando Magic.